When we kill the person and come back, they have to give us our money. We are in the same courts.
When 20-year-old Mariam Abola stood before the tough police officers in Lagos State Command, she did something that chilled them to the bone. She did not cry. She did not beg for mercy. Instead, Mariam Abola smiled. She laughed as she told the detective how she has ended the lives of 4 different peoples. To her, taking a human life was as simple as swatting a fly. She described her victims not as people with families, but as targets that needed to be deleted. The most terrifying part was not just a lack of regret, but how close she came to becoming a hire killer for powerful politicians. This is a true story of how a young orphan became the most feared hit girl for the deadly group in Lagos, and the strange mistake that finally brought her to justice. Mariam Abola was not like other criminals the police usually catch in Ilasamaja area of Lagos. Usually the killers are big, scary men with scars, but Mariam was a young woman who often wore a white hijab and a long dress called a jalabia. She looked innocent. She looked like someone's sister or a daughter going to a place of worship. This look was not just the greatest weapon. People will see her walking down the streets at night and never think she was carrying a loaded gun under her clothes. Because she looked so harmless, she could get close to her target without anyone raising an alarm. She used this disguise to walk right into the houses and end lives while people were sleeping. The police were shocked because they had never seen a female caught assassin quite like her in the history of Lagos crime. Her confession was the first of its kind, proving that danger can sometimes have a very innocent face. The trouble that led to Mariam's arrest started in July 2018. The streets of Ilasamaja were not peaceful anymore because the 2 groups were at war. These groups are called the Confraternities or the courts. One was the Black Axe group and the other was the Aiye group. They were trapped in a cycle of revenge that seems like it would never end. It began when the Black Axe members killed a man named Sodiq Owi, who belonged to the Aiye group. Wahid had a younger brother named Sodiq Owi. Sodiq was angry and wanted to get even, but the Black Axe member or group said they were not seeking revenge because one of their members, a man named Michael, had been killed earlier. Both sides were hunting each other like animals in the forest. Every night, people in the neighborhood were afraid because they knew a gunshot could ring out at the moment. Police were watching closely, waiting for the right moment to stop the bloodshed before one more innocent people got caught in this crossfire. On July 16, 2018, the violence becomes too much. The police received a secret tip and moved quickly to arrest the leader of the groups. They catch a man named Emeka, who was a 25 years old and also led the Black Axe group. They also arrested Sodiq Owi, the leader of the Aiye group. Alongside with them, the police found a man named Abeokuta, who was a doctor, a native doctor now for these groups, making charm they believe would protect them. They also found out a man named Abdul Rasaju, who was the one providing guns to the Black Axe. When the police questioned them, Sodiq pointed at Emeka and said he was the one who killed his brother Wahid. Emeka admitted he was a cult, but he said he didn't kill Wahid. He said they were actually looking for Sodiq, but since they couldn't find him, they killed his brother instead. While these men were arguing in the police station, a secret plan was still moving forward outside, a plan involving Mariam Abola. Mariam Abola was born in a place called Lafenwa in Abeokuta, which is in Ogun State. When she was born, a priest told her mother a prophecy. She said that Mariam will grow up to become a very rich and also a famous woman in the society. This story stayed in Mariam's head her whole life. She truly believed that she was meant for greatness and big money, but life became very hard. Her parents both died when she was young, leaving her as an orphan. She had no money to finish school. She had to drop out when she was in her final year of secondary school at Premier Grammar School. Feeling hopeless and poor, she decided to run away to Lagos. She didn't tell her brother or sister. She just left. In the big city of Lagos, she was homeless and had no place to sleep. That was when she met a man named Sheme, who was the brother of the cult leader named Sodiq Owi. Sheme took Mariam to meet Sodiq. They gave her a place to stay with another member named Wasiu. At first, Based on her confession, Mariam did not know they were killers, but soon Sodiq told her the truth. He told her they were part of the group that did jobs for money. He promised her that if she joined them, she will finally become wealthy and rich, like the prophecy they told her. Mariam was so tired of being poor that she said yes. Immediately she agreed. She didn't care if it was wrong. She just wanted the money. Sodiq took her to a native doctor who made her eat a black substance and perform a secret ritual. He told her this will make her brave and protect her from the police. After the ritual, Sodiq started teaching her how to use a gun. He showed her how to aim and fire at the wall. After only 3 lessons, Mariam was an expert. She was ready to start her new job as a professional killer. For her first mission, Sodiq gave Mariam a photograph of a man who lived in Fabi Street. It's there in Lagos. He also told her this man had to die. Before she went, she took more bravery medicine. That is the black substance now they gave her from the native doctor. That night, she went with 3 men as the target house. The men climbed over the fence and opened the gate for her. Then they walked into the room where the man was sleeping on the mat. His family members were sleeping right there next to him. Mariam did not feel sorry for them. She walked up and wake him up from sleeping and shoot him to the chest and the head. She saw him stop breathing and then simply turn around and walk out. When she got back from the job to meet Sodiq, Sodiq gave her 10,000 naira, even though the men got 20,000 naira each for the job. Mariam was happy to have that cash. She felt powerful. She felt like she was finally doing the job of her dream to become rich. Mariam continued this dark work for a long time. She killed the 2nd person, then the 3rd person, and then the 4th person. Each time she used the same trick, she will wear a white hijab so she would look like a religious girl. She would carry the gun, go to the house at night, shoot the target and walk away freely. She told the police later that she never felt bad doing that. She said that the charm from the native doctor worked so well that her heart felt like a stone. She began to see other humans being as nothing more than just insects in her hands. Sodiq was so impressed with her work. He told her that since she was so good at killing, he was going to give her a promotion. He told her that elections were coming up in Nigeria. He said he would introduce her to big politicians who would pay her millions of naira to eliminate their rivals. Mariam thought her dreams was finally coming true. But before Mariam could start working for the politician, everything fell apart because the police had arrested Sodiq and other leaders during the court fight. Mariam was left alone. She didn't know what to do. On a Friday, she went to look for Sodiq but found out he was in jail. She remembered that she had a box of gun that Sodiq told her to give Wasiu. She took the box to Wasiu's house, but his neighbor told her that Wasiu had also been arrested. Now Mariam was standing in the streets with a box full of illegal pistols and no one to help her. She thought that because she looked so young and innocent in her hijab, the police would never suspected her. She decided to walk right into Ilasamaja police station to ask why they arrested her friend Wasiu. She thought she could trick the officers into letting him go. When Mariam walked into the police station, the officers were confused. They were holding dangerous cultists who had killed many people. And here was this young, quiet girl asking for them. This police started asking her questions. They asked her how she knew Wasiu. They asked her how she knew Wasiu and Sodiq. Mariam tried to lie at first, but the officers were very smart. They noticed that she was acting strange. They kept asking more and more questions until finally Mariam did something no one expected. Instead of making up another lie, she started telling them all truths. She told them everything. She told them she was the hit girl of the Aiye group. She told them about the 4 men she had killed earlier. She told them about the training, the gun, and the 10,000 naira payment she always received from them. The police officer sat there in shock. They could not believe this girl was confessing to such terrible crimes so easily. The police started to bring Sodiq out of his cell to face Mariam. They wanted to see if they would recognize each other. This was the very dramatic moment. Mariam looked at Sodiq and told him she was there. But Sodiq was very clever. He knew that if he admitted he knew her, she would be even more in trouble of the 4 murders she had committed. He looked at her and pretended that he never seen her before. He even laughed at her and asked her, if you are really in my group, tell me the same name Aiye stand for. Mariam looked down. She realized she didn't know Sodiq has used her to kill so many people, but he never even told her the meaning of the name of the group. He told the police, we don't just use girls for our operation. She is lying. Mariam realized in the moment that the people she thought were her friends had only been using her as a tool. The native doctor Abeokuta also denied knowing her. He told the police he was just a simple man who helped people with broken bones. But the police checked their record and found out that he had been arrested years before for initiating girls into cult. Even though Sodiq and the native doctor lied, Mariam did not stop talking. She told the police exactly how she climbed the fence and how she shot people. She even showed them how she held the gun. The officers asked how she felt when she saw people die. She smiled and said, I don't know how I feel. I don't feel bad. This was the most chilling part of the whole story. Even when her leaders turned against her and called her a liar, she didn't cry. She just accepted that she had just been used. She was 20 years old girl who had lost her soul to the world of crime. After the investigation was finished, the police took the whole group to court. Sodiq Owi and Emeka was charged with being the member of the secret court and having illegal guns. The prosecutor showed the judge that pistol and the bullets they found. The judge ordered that they should be kept in Kirikiri prison while the lawyers studied the case. Mariam Abola, who was also held by the authorities for murder she has confessed to, said that day in 2018, the case has been moved through the legal system. The story of Mariam Abola remains a dark shadow in the history of Lagos. It is a story that shows how young persons can be led astray by the promise of wealth and the lies of dangerous men. Mariam thought she was becoming a woman of repute. Instead, she became a prisoner with the blood of 4 people all in her hands. There is a big lesson we must take home from this story. Mariam's life was ruined because she was so desperate to make money. She was an orphan who wanted to escape from poverty. She also allowed that hunger for money to make her do evil things. When she met Sodiq, she thought she was helping her. She thought Sodiq was actually leading her the right way, but he was actually destroying her life. He gave her 10,000 naira to kill someone while he accepted the power and the safety for himself. This showed that in this world of crime, there is no such thing as friendship or a free gift or money. The people who tell you to do bad things will be the first ones to come and deny when the police came. Mariam learned this too late. She was used as a disposable weapon. Once she was no longer useful, Sodiq treated her as a stranger. Crime might promise you a quick way out of poverty, but it will always end in dark places. Another lesson is about the choices we make when lives get harder. Mariam had a choice when she got to Lagos. She could have looked for honest work, even if it was hard and paid very little, but she chose the easiest or the easy way, which turned out to be the hardest way of all. She thought the native doctor's charm would protect her, but they couldn't save her from the police. No magic or ritual can hide the truth forever. Her story is a warning to every young person who thinks joining a cult or a gang will give them levels or respect. In the end, you will either end up in a grave or behind bars. Mariam smiled at the end of her story wasn't a sign of strength. It was a sign of broken life. She had nothing left to lose because she had already lost her humanity. Thank you very much for watching this full report on tremendous crime in history. We hope this story of Mariam Abola reminds you to always choose the right path. No matter how hard life becomes, crime has no profits and the end is always full of regrets. We want to hear from you. Do you think the leader should get a weightier or heavier sentence than Mariam since they trained her? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Please subscribe to our channel for more real life crime stories that teaches you important lessons. Your support helps us keep telling these stories to the world. Stay safe, stay away from crime. We will see you on our next video. Goodbye for now.